Radio season preview show. I'm Kyle, he's Andy. We're here to bring you the first in what we hope is a series of weekly videos that will kind of bring you an inside look at Bucks football this year. Let's go back to last year, talk about that for just a little bit. The Bucks finished 10-0. They were undefeated on the season. Highlights included a homecoming win against Miami East. We beat Ansonia twice, including the second time in the playoffs. The season came to an unfortunate end in the regional semifinals and a loss to Lehman. Andy Lehman just looked just as fast as us and probably a little bit bigger, and it was frustrating to sort of see the season finish like that.
Yeah, it was a difficult way to end the season. I mean, obviously you want something better than that, but primarily a closer game, something that's going to be a good way to send you out. Lehman just got off to a fast start. Covington started really, really slow, got a lot of penalties, a lot of turnovers. Second half was a lot more competitive, but by that time they'd already dug themselves too much of a hole. They fought hard, but in the end it was just too much and not enough time.
Off of that team last year in 2010, the Bucks have lost a handful of really capable seniors. Three of the primary ones being Josh Beringer, Tyler Knopfsinger, and Corey Ely. Beringer, the linebacker, Knopfsinger, one of the best special teams players in Covington history and also a threat in the backfield, and Corey Ely, the fullback. Andy, talk a little bit about how you believe the Bucks offense especially will handle the loss of those three players.
It will be difficult, but the thing about Covington is they always they just regroup. I mean, you think they lose a lot of guys, but every year they come back year after year after year. It's going to be difficult to replace Josh Beringer. Josh is basically the unstoppable force on defense. The other team tried to do anything possible to stop him, but it was next to impossible to slow him down. Tyler and Ely were pretty much the thunder and lightning of last year's backfield. I mean, it will be difficult, but with the triple option that Covington runs, you can plug anybody back there, and I think they will be just fine with what they have coming back, especially with A.J. Ouellette.
All right, Andy, so let's talk about who is back for the Bucks this year. Give me two returning lettermen on offense who you believe will have an impact on the team.
I think the two on offense would be Alex Baskerville with his ability to run between the tackles and to break those tackles, and I'd also say A.J. Ouellette with his ability to get to the corner and to break those tackles and to go the distance because of his elusive speed.
Well, how about on defense?
Defense, I would say Dylan Owens being the leader of the linebacking core and his ability to get to the ball carrier and force that fumble. In the secondary, I would say Kyler X-Factor Dieter because of his ability to close in on the receiver and to break up that pass.
All right, so let's talk big matchups in the Cross-County Conference. Give me three teams from the league who you think might give us a little bit of trouble this year.
I would say Bethel, Ansonia, and Bradford. Those would be the three. I would say Bethel because Bethel's kind of an enigma. You really don't know what you're going to get out of them, but they have a lot of talent and they have potential to be really tough this year. Ansonia, just based on history, they're always a tough opponent. I know they've lost some talent, but still, because of that history, I think they could be a little bit of a team to worry about. And Bradford to be the last one. I know the numbers are down, but Bradford has some talent. They could be really scary this year.
So we'll bring in the third member of our team, our new stats man, Marty Fairking listener. He talked to Coach Tobias to get some of his thoughts.
All right, I'm here with Coach Tobias, and I got a few questions for you. What has it meant having Jake Bittner around to help with the quarterbacks?
Well, Jake's helped us a lot this year. He gives us that extra pair of eyes and helps take a little bit of load off of Coach Miller, running routes and things like that. He can put Jake out there and make him run a little bit too. Also helped us as far as scout team goes. He'll be over there running the scout team's quarterback position, and that saves me or Coach Eric or Coach Barbee from doing that. We can watch our guys a little bit more. Like I said, it also gives us that extra set of eyes, whether he's running scout team or not running scout team. So the more eyes, the better.
Okay. And is there one or two teams that we really need to look out for this year to win the CCC title?
Well, we kind of look at it differently. We don't say one or two teams. It's each team that we play that week. That's our main objective. We get the kids to play 1 week at a time, one team at a time, and never look ahead. Just take care of the team you got to play that week. Everything will take care of itself.
Okay, thank you. Hey, I'm here with Coach Miller, and I got a few questions to ask him. You have a few senior captains. How have they changed or progressed since being a freshman?
Yeah, a lot stronger, number one. Maturity level. Every one of those guys are great leaders for our team. They put the team first. You watch them in our weightlifting sessions, and they are the guys that not only walk the walk, but talk the talk with it too. And they're the hardest workers and motivate the team, and just anything you ask them to do, they'll do it. Great kids.
Andy, let's talk about the preseason a little bit. Tell us what you've seen in the scrimmages so far, especially the one against Eaton.
I like their intensity. They were up the entire time. The guys on the bench were always yelling and chattering, trying to get the guys motivated on the field to keep doing better. I also liked the backfield depth. There was a lot of, we talked about replacing Jake Stewart and things like that. Isaiah and AJ Ouellette and Trent Tobias, Cron, all those guys in the backfield do a really good job. I liked how they were throwing out of it. They had a lot of good arms. We were questioning about the throwing. They looked great last night. If they continue to improve on that and get better and better, I think this could be a real big force.
All right, then we'll talk about some things that you think the Bucks still need to work on.
Well, like I said earlier, the slow starts. They got off to kind of a slow start. Looked like they were kind of on their heels. Remember, this is Eaton. Eaton's a lot bigger than Covington is. And also, they have an all-state quarterback. Once they got past all their jitters and getting in the flow of things, they were a lot better. They actually picked off the all-state quarterback twice, which shows how much they improved and how much they actually got focused after the slow start. The secondary, you're going against an all-state quarterback, but they were a little slow early on. Some of the tackling wasn't solid, but as the scrimmage progressed, they got better and better at it. And also, we saw numerous fumbles. There was like 4 fumbles in a row almost. They got to hang on to the ball. We cannot have that many turnovers in the game. We saw last year, we almost came back to bite us, and it did bite us against Lehman. If they hang on to the ball, they'll be much more successful this year.
Well, that competition level is, we don't get much better than that. We go against Milton, Eaton, and then Versailles. It's a good measuring stick, and so far we've measured up pretty well. It's obvious that what we did in the off season with the weightlifting and our conditioning paid off, big time, especially up front. I thought we controlled the line of scrimmage really in all of them. So pretty happy with that. Our backs ran hard. They played physical. Defensively, I think we're ahead of where we were, and you can tell a lot more from a scrimmage against that caliber of an opponent than you do in practice every day. So.
We've learned where our strengths and weaknesses are. We obviously have things to improve on, and just continuous practice and repetition and showing positive attitude, is getting those things accomplished. We've played well in our scrimmages, but we're continuing always to improve and get better.
All right, Andy, week 1 is just a couple days away at this point. We head to New Bremen for the first game of the year. Last year, you might remember, New Bremen was the first game as well. They came to town, and it was a close game throughout, but we beat them thanks to a last-second field goal from Stephen Bly. We talked to Coach Miller about what kind of threat New Bremen could pose this year.
First of all, our quarterback is a returning starter and has a lot of speed, very shifty runner, who can also throw the football really well. So he is one that could give us fits on defense. But they also have a running back, the Clooney kid who did not play last year, pretty fast, and the other kids too. They do have some speed on offense and some good, big play receivers, and we're going to have to really try to control the ball, and play well on offense and contain them on defense.
So that about wraps it up for the Bucks Radio season preview show. Week 1 is this Friday at New Bremen. Broadcast time, 7:15 p.m. For Marty Fairking listener, Andy Johnson, I'm Kyle Moore. We'll see you later.
Go Bucks.